Hello, Facebook friends. I'm here with Deshaun,
Hi.
and Deshaun is a fourth grade student in one of my classes this year. And Deshaun and I have just kind of been hanging out in the classroom talking about workshop, and we started talking about how that sometimes writing, especially at the beginning of the year, is kind of boring and it's really hard, and sometimes we just don't like it, right?
Yeah.
So, like at the beginning of the year, how did you feel about writing?
I didn't really like it because I thought it was boring.
Hmm.
And so when I got to like reading new things, it got me inspired to write more.
Okay, so you think that reading kind of fed your, desire to want to also do kind of what those writers were doing,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so I think that one thing that we need to think about is that, and Deshaun's going to share some of his writing in just a little bit here, but at the beginning of the year, Deshaun he didn't really like writing, right?
Right.
And whenever it was time for writing, a lot of times, Deshaun, and we can just be honest, I had to like tell you, hey, come on, Deshaun, right?
Yeah.
You didn't want to really do it, right? But now, Deshaun is just, itching to get going. He's always wanting to share his writing, and that's why he's going to share some with you today. And I think that there's a reason for that, and I want to share that with you guys today. Um, you know, Yesterday we talked a lot whenever we had Nina, and we talked about choice and providing choice in Writer's Workshop. And I think that we're making a huge mistake if if we I want to be really clear about what I mean when I say choice. When I say choice, I mean it's student led. The student is able to choose
What they want to write.
what they want to write. See, Deshaun knows, right? So if you need to really look at your curriculum, look at any, if you're using a system of any kind that gives you a some kind of a mini lesson, and then afterwards you are supposed to have the students do whatever it is that you taught. Just look at it very closely and ask yourself, is everything that I'm doing based around student choice? Because if not, it's really killing workshop. Workshop writing is different than other content areas. Writing is an art; it's not an action. And so if we turn it into a checklist and say, okay, once I've completed A, B, and C, I have completed the act of writing. We are killing the spirit of workshop, and students are not going to have an intrinsic motivation to do anything with it. So, Deshaun, would you mind sharing for us some of your writing?
Yes. I'm not at the page yet, but I can do
Okay,
it quick.
sure, yeah. And this is
Oh yeah.
okay.
Okay.
You got it already?
Yeah.
Okay. So Deshaun's going to share his writing, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it. Go ahead, Deshaun.
Okay. It's called It. It was from this clown movie, and I thought it was like a good name.
Okay.
So this is the first part. It's chapter 1, but I only went to chapter 2 yet. And day 1. Have you ever thought about if something is watching you at night? Well, I don't think I know. It was 2 years ago when I saw it. It was 2 a.m. and I heard something in the hallway, so I went to check it out, and I heard it clink, clink, clink. A green light appeared at the end of the hallway. It was behind me. I turned around slowly. I saw it. With its glowing green eyes and its faded forest green skin, he stared at me, tilting his head. He kept tilting his head until it was upside down. I held my breath and closed my eyes. But then it said, 1, 2, 3. I opened my eyes and it was charging at me. I quickly dive into my room and lock my door. I hear screeching for a second, but it stops. A quiet voice says, I'm coming back. I wait under my bed until it went somewhere else. When I left, I got under the covers and I thought, was I going to die or was I going to live?
Okay, and that's where I asked Deshaun to stop, and he's continued with this story during free writing. So, wow, what a suspense that you've built into your storyline. And one of the things that you and I kind of discussed earlier is what do you think is one of the main things that made it to where you now enjoy this? We know that your reading has helped, but during our workshop time, what is it that we talked about that you really enjoy about writing now?
Well, like I got some of this from like books and
Yeah.
trailers and stuff. And so
Like a movie trailer?
yeah, and I
Yeah.
liked them.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to put it all together into the story. And so that's what I like about it.
Right. Okay. Now, what is different? I know that at the very beginning of the year, we were working on. Sometimes we were working on expository essays, and sometimes we would have a writing prompt. And now we're doing a different kind of writing. What is different for you about whenever I tell you, okay, here's what you're gonna write about. Here's your prompt that you're gonna write about. What's different for you
Well,
when you're doing
well,
this?
you get to choose whatever you write, and you can put anything you want into it.
Hmm. Okay. So like you and I talked about, it's a lot more fun to be creative,
Yeah.
isn't it? So guys, I'm in no way suggesting or advocating in any way that we uh, cease all direct instruction and then we're not explicit and then we don't, intentional. Um, in fact, the opposite applies. I think that we absolutely have to do things to merge reading and writing. And we still have to have some kind of a mini lesson and with explicit instruction where we are using mentor texts and we're, like we talked about yesterday, we're being writing thieves, like Deshaun just discussed he stole not only from writing, but from, he stole it from a movie trailer, some ideas, and he twisted them around and made them his own. So I'm not suggesting that it's just this free for all, event, and that we're not actually learning. Um, in fact, I'm saying the opposite. But what I am saying though is if you strip choice out of workshop, you're not doing workshop anymore, friends. You're just not. And you can call it workshop all you want, but and I don't mean to be that way, but I'm just saying it's not workshop anymore. It's not. Um, you know,
It's kind of like essays
what do you mean?
because it has like a topic, and you have to write about the topic.
Okay. So you kind of feel like in a way that you're doing something that's kind of like uh, an essay in the sense that you have something that's leading you through the writing.
Yeah.
Right. Right. But you're doing it on your own.
Yes.
Right. Um,
The
so
thing I do, I picture it in my head, and then whatever I see, I put it down.
oh, I love that. So you're visualizing it, and then you're putting it on paper. I love that. So guys, certainly continue to do a workshop, but gosh, uh, don't take the joy out of it. We need choice, um, and uh, and the way that we get there is by just letting go and letting it be more student led. I think that the one thing that we have to do is we have to ask ourselves, what is the goal? We live in a time where our standardized test lends itself to drill and kill. Let's be honest. And so if our goal is to have high scores for this year, then certainly we can drill that to death, and we can give an expository essay structure every day and drill that into the kids until we have everything on the checklist that the rater wants, and we can get those multiple choice questions down, and bam, we'll have some good scores this year. But if our goal is for Deshaun here to walk out of my classroom loving writing, so that he can go on and be successful in fifth grade and sixth grade and on, into adulthood, then we need to make sure that we are doing the right thing and making choice the foundation. I'm going to leave you with a quote from Stephen Covey. Without significant involvement, there is no commitment. And so that really stood out to me because you can't really have involvement, significant involvement, unless you have ownership over it. And Deshaun is proof of that. He has ownership over his writing now because he was able to choose. So thank you very much. I appreciate you being with us. And say bye, Deshaun.
Bye.